Når du spiller spil, så ser du kun det, som udviklerne vil lade til at se. Men hvad sker der, hvis vi tager kameraet uden for rammerne? Det skal vi finde ud af nu, og vi skal få en snak med en YouTuber, som har nok nærmest har pioneret den her genre af videoer. For jeg har nemlig fået en snak med Shesez, aka Boundary Break, der laver de her videoer, hvor de tager kameraet sådan udenfor synsfeltet, hvor spiludviklere normalt vil have til at se. Og fortæller lidt om, hvordan han er kommet i gang med hans YouTube-karriere, men også hvordan han har fået den rigtige voice actor der bag Professor Oaks stemme til at medvirke i en af hans videoer, og mange andre spændende ting. Men før vi kaster os ud i interviewet, så tag det lige og fortæl os, hvorfor en YouTuber kunne du tænke dig at se blive interviewet næste gang? Vender med en dansk, amerikansk eller whatever. Det er op til dig. Skriv det hernede under, og så bare nyd interviewet, der kommer lige her. First of all, can you start by introducing yourself to those who don't know who Shesez or the Boundary Breaking channel is?
Sure, I'm the host of the show Boundary Break, where we basically take the camera anywhere we want, and we try to find secrets and new discoveries to some of our favorite games. That's like my little show intro that people hated for the longest time, so I actually just dumped it last episode. But that's what I do essentially.
How did you start the channel? Like, how did you get started doing YouTube content?
So I got started doing YouTube content really far back. I had a completely different channel, and it was more like opinion pieces. Then later on, what later became the Boundary Break channel started off as a channel called Pancake and Waffle, and it was a boyfriend and girlfriend channel where we shared video content. And we eventually broke up, so then I had to rebrand the channel, and I was kind of like doing the generic YouTube stuff with like reviews and stuff like that. But then I found out how to use a free camera, and once I found out this was even a thing, I rebranded everything and became Boundary Break.
It's a super cool concept. I feel like there's not a lot of people who's doing it. If anybody is doing it other than you, I feel like.
Yeah, well, actually, so this isn't an arrogant thing to say. Literally, I would look up before I started the show. There was nobody doing this show before me, so I am technically like the pioneer of the genre. And there are a couple of copycat channels, but they are in small numbers right now.
But you could say that the greatest form of appreciation is imitation. Isn't that what they?
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
Kinda. I'm paraphrasing here. But what would you say is like your proudest episode?
Yeah, my proudest one for sure is the Pokemon Snap episode, because it was one of the first episodes where it was constantly being requested, but there was no way to do it at the time. Over time, though, I had built up a reputation, and I gained more contacts who can make tool sets for cameras in games. We finally got to that point where I was able to ask someone, could you please make a camera for this game? And they were actually able to pull it off. So that huge accomplishment happened. But on top of that, I also, on a whim, contacted Stuart Zagnit, the voice of Professor Oak, and asked him if he wanted to be a guest on that episode. And so he agreed. And if you watch that episode, you'll see Professor Oak in character introing the show.
Hello there, it's me, Professor Oak, and welcome to episode 56 of an ongoing series where we basically take the camera anywhere we want.
So first celebrity guest, and first time that we were able to make the impossible possible. So I'm very proud of that episode because of those two reasons.
It is a very cool episode. I'll have to say that.
You.
If you could pick any like celebrity guest for a future episode or for redoing an old episode, who would that be?
Well, okay, so probably Reggie. I think I would want Reggie. Yeah, because I think that he could add a lot to any Nintendo episode. I just want to meet the man, honestly. I think that's just the big reason. He's just a total sweetheart and total meme material. I love him.
I don't know why people say that I look like Bowser.
But if we're going to go with voice actors, like if we're continuing that trend, I think I would want the original voice cast of Star Fox 64 and remake the Star Fox 64 episode and have them, you know, periodically jump into the episode and use their voices. I think that would be so cool.
Have you ever thought about trying to do it with Charles Martinet?
I think Charles would probably be down, but I just I honestly just, I don't want to sound rude by saying so, but I have no interest in inviting him onto the show. I think that the character Mario is best personified with like just the occasional catchphrase and grunts and noises.
Pixel TV! Woohoo! Number one! Yahoo!
I think asking Charles to reprise the character and do like 15 seconds of dialogue is unnatural. And yeah, like I think the audience would still appreciate it, but from a creative standpoint, I would love to bring out the best in every character when making an episode. And I just don't think it would be a good fit.
And that's actually pretty true. Like, I feel like it's almost kind of like, have you seen the recent Pokemon game with Pikachu where Pikachu talks and he's a detective?
Yes. But I love that.
Weird.
I love that though. Detective Pikachu, for the record. Yeah, and then he like kind of has like a pseudo Danny DeVito voice. I love that.
I'm a great detective, Detective Pikachu.
Who do you think will be able to pull off the voice best, him or Ryan Reynolds?
So if I had to choose, I would make it DeVito. If you're asking me like the actual voice they got versus Ryan Reynolds, I haven't heard Ryan do that sort of accent or that sort of voice before. So whatever Ryan brings to the table probably won't be as good as what's already in the game. So I'm going to say the generic no-name guy who's doing the voice of Pikachu right now.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika! Yeah, Pika Pika Pika, he's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
Can no one else hear him?
What would you say is the biggest challenge for you as a YouTuber today?
The biggest challenge by far is marketing. And I hate that word. I think every YouTuber does. I think every person would love to just be themselves and all of a sudden just blow up as a result. But like, unfortunately, marketing is a very real aspect to being a YouTuber. And by marketing, I do mean just being able to reach an audience, get people talking, get people to accidentally search for you, you know, in the search engine and stuff. That's a weak point of mine. I've always had a hard time selling a form of entertainment that's never been done before. Therefore, it's hard to have people accidentally stumble upon my content. My show has really been a word of mouth type show, and I thank people like Reddit, Kotaku, Game Informer, all those folks who help bring awareness to the show. But I need the biggest struggle for sure is me trying to get people to watch my content on my own volition. Trying to think of words or phrases that people would look at in a thumbnail and say like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, I'd check that out. But it's tough. Not a lot of people know what the word off-camera secrets really means. And so to a lot of people who are very impulse clickers, they'll see like off-camera secrets, be immediately confused and not take more than 2 seconds to try to figure out what it means, and then click on the cat video instead.
Men hvad synes du, er den slags video interessant for dig? Skriv som altid lige herunder, og husk også at fortælle os, hvem du kunne tænke dig at se blive interviewet næste gang her på kanalen, og så ses vi bare næste gang.